Yeah. Hi, Julie. So you came out of a great past life session.
Yeah.
An amazing one, actually.
Yeah, we feel like we went through a lot of different places, a lot of different times. It was very cool.
Yeah, you had certain questions or expectations of what you wanted before the session, and I think pretty much everything was explained to you.
Yeah, what's nice is we've been working together for so long that walking into this one specifically, I was able to set a very clear intention of what I want to figure out, understand, what blockages I wanted to clear up. I wanted to clear up some abundance blockages and money mindset blockages. And so I think right off the start, I put it out there that, hey, give me some answers to some of these questions. So that was cool that you were able to guide me through different things. I could feel it, like this is where my personality of having like a very logical mind and a very intuitive mind kind of like conflict. So I'm constantly at work in relaxing, staying in the moment, and just saying, okay, whatever comes to mind, I'm just going to start to tell you and start to express what I'm seeing and not interpret it or analyze it right away. And I think that's really helpful, that I'm just, as I see things happening or as I hear things, I'm just like, let's talk about it. And I just say it so that I leave it up for interpretation after, and I can keep being in the moment when it's happening.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool the way they also brought some learnings back from you, and you wanted to bring some learnings from other lifetimes. And I thought the way they did it was pretty good, right? In terms of visualization that they showed you, and that they showed you what you can do and the skills that you can bring back. So I think that's very powerful, because I don't know any other way we would get this information except through this kind of sessions, right?
Yeah.
How would you bring, because this was so directed, we actually asked for what we wanted and then they went about and showed it. So I think that is pretty powerful.
It was really cool to be able to connect the dots of maybe like different dreams I've had in the recent past, or different things I've seen during my meditations, and then take them here and being able to go deeper, and you guiding me through, okay, what is this telling you? What are you seeing? What does this mean? Was really cool, because I could go that layer deeper of something that's already been in my consciousness since a little while, and then see, okay, what does that mean? What is the universe, as I like to say, trying to tell me in this case?
But it also happens, whenever I've noticed with many clients, once they set the intention to do a past life session, and the universe knows whether they are really intending to or not, then already change starts happening. It's as if they are being prepared for the session, and that's the time when they may get dreams or they may get some intuitive hits. And then when they come into the past life session, they can connect the dots, as you said, because the preparatory work was done, and now they have been brought into the session to give them a real meaning to their intuitive hits or the dreams. So it becomes easy for you to accept the visualization that's coming through, because I had seen this in my dreams before, but I really didn't know what was going on. But now I understand it from a higher consciousness level of what it means, right? So I can't think of any other way you would get this information, to be honest. And I work with so many modalities of healing that it is this is the most quickest and direct way. And you got to meet your spiritual master too, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that was very powerful too, because you did past life, that in your past life, your spiritual master came, and therefore you could ask him a lot of questions and guide you. And the learning that he transmitted to you is beautiful.
And what's nice too is that, sometimes we're limited in how we express ourselves in language. And I think that what I love doing past lives with you is that there's some information that I'm getting, or something that's happening that I can't always express, but I can feel it. Like there's a certain moments when healing is happening and you're giving space for the healing. But I couldn't express you exactly in words what's happening in your body, or, how is this energy going? And a lot of times I feel that we're very connected, because, even I'm starting to do the things that you're about to tell me to do. So it's almost like I know that there's that connection. There's one part in this past life that we just did right now, where I was in mud bubble, and then I started seeing myself like expand my arm out and kind of reach out. And then within the next minute, you're like, okay, now we're stepping out of this bubble. And I had already started this process. So that's how I know it's very intuitive in how connected we are, that we're in the same space, that you're feeling my energy, and then guiding me through something that's like very natural, that I'm already stepping into this and I'm already going here and that. And then also just giving me the space to play, like wander around, see what's happening, who's there, what are they saying, what do they mean? And again, because sometimes it's very quick for me to go into interpreting or analyzing, sometimes I have to take a pause and like really get back into the moment to see, okay, let's just observe from a curious, playful, childlike approach, and then see where that takes. So yeah, a combination of the intuitive piece of all this journey. Like I'm sure you have no idea exactly where we're gonna go, but you're really good at following that thread and seeing where it could lead. And then a lot of the questions that you ask as well, I'm very curious about seeing, for example, what my master guides have to say about that and going deeper into that topic.
Yeah, I think having a facilitator along is really very, very useful, because you can get lost in that lifetime otherwise. So having a facilitator, like I'm being a facilitator in the journey, I know when to pause, when to ask the right questions. So you can say, okay, yeah, I want to know the answer to this. Or yeah, I want to know what's going on here, right? And directing you to ask the right questions to your spiritual masters. Otherwise, you wouldn't remember to ask those questions. And like, can you ask this also? And can you ask this also? And, getting the answers back. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool that since we've been working together, your spiritual masters and guides pretty much know me very well too, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, always, I mean, I've had it happen with many, many clients, but it still always feels such a big blessing to know that at some level we are all connected, and the spiritual masters and the client spiritual masters are working together to bring the client into my healing center so that we can work together. And yeah, I'm always blown away when I do past lives.
There's really the sense of connected. And I think what I learned the most of, like, when we've done many past lives together and many even in between lives. So that's what I love about it now. We can kind of get into it quite quickly. But what I love is that I can relax a little bit, like not feel like the weight's on my shoulder all the time. And I can just wait for answers, wait to see what happens, wait to explore something. There's this like inner knowing that, first of all the things I need to know are already within me, and I discover what's within me as we kind of travel through and experience this together. And then just like relaxing into it and knowing that, I'm supported. There's these master guides who are teaching me things. There's you who is along my journey, who's also a big contributor in healing, doing healing work at the same time. And to be honest, I feel like this session flew by so quickly because we just kind of very harmoniously moved along from one place to another. And I'm really excited to also kind of reflect, because as we know, there's the session, which is very deep. And then after that, there's all the reflection work. So when I reflected from some of my past ones that we've done together, yeah, it's seeing the learnings that I want to bring back with me, seeing the skills that maybe I had in another lifetime that I can now bring back with me. And you just feel more connected to yourself and connected really to everyone else, because all of those knowledges and connections are within you.
Yeah, another powerful thing I've noticed is, like, you've done many past lives, I've done so much past lives on myself, is that it helps to break down some of the ego set boundaries and limitations and beliefs that we have created, right? For example, take a simple thing, which is like religion, right? A lot of people get fanatical about their religion, but when they go through past lives and they see themselves as part of other religions, and then they realize, what? All religions are pretty much connected and trying to teach the same thing. So suddenly there's a shift that happens within you, and you realize, what? I can be more tolerant about other religions. So it's the ego created barriers where we discriminate ourselves from each other. And then sometimes you may feel that, even take finances, for example, in some lifetimes you may be very, very poor. In some lifetimes you may be very rich, or anywhere in between. And then suddenly realize that wealth is just a tool. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you have more or less, you're still learning your lessons, right? And different opportunities are presented to you when you're poor versus when you're rich, when you're middle class. So ultimately, you start viewing finances in a different way too. So a lot of the ego created construct starts breaking down or becoming softer as you do more and more past life, because now you're like, I'm not just Julie in this lifetime. I am also so many other things, so you kind of learn to expand your consciousness to know that this is, like, I think in this session too, you realize that your time on earth is so short compared to your time in other dimensions.
Yeah.
Right. And yet when you're on the earth, it seems so long, 80 years to live, 90 years to live, it seems like, oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of expands over here. But when you go outside the time-space boundary, you realize it's so short.
Yeah.
And this is a powerful realization, I think. And there's no way of knowing it through knowledge. It's just a deeper knowing that you feel when you go through a session.
Yeah. And behind my money blockages, I think what we discovered together just now is like, it's deeper than just, hey, I have a money blockage. It goes into money blockage is equal to your self-worth and how you ask for what you think you deserve, and then doing some more work on that. So I think that gave me insights on what more work I can do there. We also discovered, like, one of the really things that I think is my superpower is my ability to see colors and feel colors and even heal through colors. I think if you had asked me if I could do that maybe like two years or 3 years past, I didn't even know that was some of my abilities, that I can use some of this stuff within me to heal and to communicate. And so now when we're walking through certain things, it's very easy for me to see, oh yeah, this is this color and this is that color, because that's what resonates, or that's my language. And so it's
a lifetime too. I remember this color thing came up for you in another lifetime. And after that, you started doing more colors and doing more diagrams and symbols, because kind of immediately resonated with you. Yeah, I love colors. And that's why I'm so good with colors. Yeah, so bringing back those learnings just reinforces and lets you know that you have a gift in that area, which you never realized. And now you realize that that gift can be used for healing purposes too, because you always like colors, but now suddenly you're like, oh, I can use colors for healing.
Yeah. And it just like opens a world of possibilities where there's no judgment. You're just like, oh, I'm discovering this thing, and you're more willing to express it. And then the more you express it, the more you use it, and the more you use it, you kind of see, wow, this is actually really powerful. I see things, I feel things differently than someone else may, for example.
Yeah. I think it was a great session, and I'm so blessed to be part of your journey. So thank you for that. And yeah, we'll continue sharing our learnings with people. So thank you.
Yeah, I highly recommend trying a past life with Karuna if you are curious to see, what may unfold, and how can you show up in the most like calm, non-expectation kind of way, and just give it a try. And I think that when you can put yourself in that place, you're going to discover a lot, because you're released in your energy and you're open to what the universe is telling you. And this is really a space for that, because Karuna, you're very open, welcoming, non-judgmental, and then we just go with whatever comes up. And I'm really, really glad that I've done this experience with you several times, and each time I'm like connecting the dots a little bit more and understanding a bigger picture that I can really use for my other aspects in my life.
All right. Thank you. And bless
Thanks.
you. Bye.